Hello everyone, welcome back to another Over Yandere Devlog. So this week I finished up breaking the Freeroam into pieces and having it all set up to load. So I've gotten the load time down a little bit, but not as much as I wanted, to be honest. But I've also added something where the scene itself loads fairly quickly, and then as the different pieces load in the background mostly, the transparency kind of fades from the loading screen to the player in the scene. So not only do I think that looks kind of neat, but it also is going to help make the loading time not feel so long. So that's a big win. And another thing I've done is I've set the bounds or limits on the player's camera. So now when you go to the wall, you no longer really see over it. You now just see to the wall, which is good because I need to put a lot less grass tiles in there, which was part of the lag and what almost caused a fatal crash for the project a little while ago. So that's probably helping me bring down performance a bit, and it also just seems a bit better instead of being able to see out over the wall to a bunch of nothing. So that's a big problem I fixed, and that also goes for the minimap as well. So there was an issue I had with the minimap being able to scroll forever and outside of the free roam, so you could essentially scroll into nothingness for all eternity, and there's no way I could put enough grass tiles in to compensate for that. So with the limits, now it's fixed, so you can only scroll just to the edges of the free roam. And yeah, so now that's all set up. It's functioning a little better, and it's a little better of a transition in general. So I'm proud of that. That's now complete. And another big thing I did this week was I've added descriptions to the endings. So the endings always had a title and an image, but now they have a little bit of a description. So maybe in case you're wondering, why did I get this ending or something like that, or, it's a bit of a humorous thing because I was playing through the game and I was looking at the ending screen and I was thinking, this seems a bit empty. I feel like there could be a bit more in here. So I've now added descriptions for all the endings to, have a few references, a few jokes, just, make the ending a little more memorable. So I've now added that, and I think that's gonna, add a little bit of value to the game. And another thing is there was a bug that you can see in some of my previous devlogs where I showed the last day dialogue in the last little bit. So you might be thinking, so what was this problem? Was it, technology thing? Was it an algorithm? No. Honestly, and this happens a lot for code and things like that, more often than you would think, the bug was caused by a typo. Yes. So what it was is that instead of setting the character's emotion state back to normal from sad, it was instead being sent to Nornmal. There was an extra N in there that shouldn't be, a typo, and that was causing the game to bug because it's not really able to read that. Nornmal isn't an emotion state, and so that was causing some problems with that last line of dialogue. So that is now fixed, and that just makes me think about, static versus dynamic testing. So dynamic is basically, you just run the game, you play through it, and you keep doing that, but that's time consuming and not really efficient because there's often a lot of different moving parts, and it's hard to narrow down which one is happening when, and then you have a bunch of print statements and this and that, the other thing. It's not really well focused. And oftentimes, especially as the game gets larger, the boot up time and shut down time of the exe takes a lot longer. So there's that as well, especially for this project. So the other thing is static analysis, which is basically just proofreading your own code, looking for things like normal, which is, as far as I know, the only place I did anything like that in the whole game's dialogues, by the way. So in a way, kudos to me, and also dang it. But, static analysis, just checking, does this make sense? Are there any typos in code or in just simple text? Or, does everything make sense? Did I, name something incorrectly? Little things like that. So that's something I always need to do a bit more of. It's definitely the more boring option as opposed to just playing through the game, but it's actually better and you'll catch a lot of things and it's a good skill to develop. So yeah, that's a little example of that. And the one thing I had before was about the screen flashing gray in between the loading screen and the new screen it was loading. And I've now fixed that. So what that screen was is the basic background, the default background in the Godot engine. So before another scene is fully loaded and after the last scene has exited, you see that. So I've now changed that to light blue, as you can probably tell. So it looks more like a part of the loading screen as opposed to just gray or unintended things. So I've now touched that up. And overall, I feel that the game is coming along quite well. I feel that now, the game is fully playable. It's pretty well tested. And, everything is getting along smoothly. That free roam efficiency or load time optimization was really a big thing for me because I didn't want anyone else to sit through that or feel like, I'm seeing a gray screen for 3 whole seconds. That doesn't seem right. So that was a big thing, and I've now fixed that up. There are still other things to do that I'll be getting to later on this month, but that was one of the biggest things was that free roam breakup into pieces. So I've now done that. And for next week, it'll be mostly more little things. For instance, I have one for the loading screen should pop up going between different scenes, stuff like that it currently doesn't. Adding backgrounds to something, little things here and there, but they don't really impact the overall playability of the game. But I'll be looking at those starting next week. And more art is in the works. Hope to have more for you soon. And yeah, everything is coming together. There's still more testing to do, especially for the other school day question sets. But overall, I feel pretty good. And that's all for this week. Hope to have more for you soon. Thank you for watching.